The news in 102.1.
Top of the morning to you, wherever you're listening to us from. It's High Impact 102.1 FM. It is your urban lifestyle station, and this is the time for newspaper review. My name is Esther Kalu. Welcome to the newspaper review on the 7th of June 2023. I'm not here by myself this morning. Hello, Krumale.
Hello, Esther. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. It's the newspaper review, and welcome to the program. Now, of course, subsidy removal story is still on the front pages of the newspaper. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. The Nigerian Labour Congress has suspended its strike action. They gave reasons for that. I don't know if Nigerians are buying that, but whether they're buying it or not, we don't know how. The impact of that. They give reasons, though. Their reasons are bothered on the mood of the state, political. They gave political insinuations that the election tribunal is still continuing its hearing, and I think they are.
You think that reason is
I think
good
they
enough?
Gave their reasons around that. Well, at the moment now. For those who are the antagonists or who don't want the strike action to take place for the moment now, will give a thumbs up to Labour as being a good reason, and others may not.
Well,
and so we are still going to have both the protagonists and antagonists, those who will favor the decision and those who will not favor the decision.
Very true. But talking about the subsidy right now, I think the impact is something that a lot of Nigerians want to talk about, really. And when the phone lines are open, you can get to tell us what it has been for you listening to us. I realized, Krumale, on my end that for hailing cabs, I know for hailing cabs, if you buy your fuel and you're driving yourself, you are mindful of how you are mindful of your calculations, you know how you spend. But for hailing cabs these days, there was a conversation about a protest coming up from hailing cabs because they believe that there should be an adjustment in their system. So a lot of Nigerians are now forced to make decisions like, when you see the price of what you need to pay for transportation, you see the driver says, oh, sorry about what is written on the app, you have to triple the price or double the price on the app. We have to renegotiate. So it has gotten to the point where a lot of people are forced to take decisions that doesn't favor them, both from the driver's side and from the passenger side. So it's been hectic, really, for those that have to use transportation in this past few days.
Well, I think about talking about those who use transportation. My mind will always go to the recent story that made the rounds, talking about the Kwara State governor who took 2 days off from the normal work, 5 days of work schedule. And though he has not been, we received a call, Dr. Kaide talked about that it's not reasonable. But really? I think, he was saying, why must we do that? I remember a caller also from Lekki, Ben from Lekki, said that it's not that we give that's too much.
Oh, 2 days is too much.
Yes. Because if they are to work from home, though Mr. Kaide was saying, if they were to work from home, we expect that the facilities that is required by the civil servants to do their work from home should be provided. Because if it's not provided, then telling them to work from home would just be an empty statement. Sitting back at home, doing what if they don't have the facilities and the technology?
I believe that some governors, leaders at this time would have to bring out creative ways to make people feel, I don't want to just cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. Yeah, so but I'm surprised that some people don't like the 2-day off work.
Well, if we talk about creativity, bringing creativity to bear at this point in time, yes, Lagos State, talking about the electric vehicles, but the thing is, the electric vehicles, the T fare, the transportation fare that you pay on that is the same transportation fare, the same amount of money you pay on the ones using the diesel and petrol as well.
Really?
Will there be a difference?
Okay.
I don't think there will be.
That's the
I don't
question.
think there's the difference. It might come to augment the number of buses that the government or the transportation sector have to tackle that, but I don't think the prices are changing that are changing at the moment. Hopefully, maybe maybe because we're still at the beginning. So probably as we continue, as move into the things are going to change.
Yes, indeed.
But it is 7:11 this morning, and those are just stories on the front burner of the polity. Not the stories per se, just a very, very few of them. I'm talking about the House of Assembly leadership. Well, let's say that in the midst of the conversation.
Yes,
I think
indeed.
probably we should take that in the midst of the conversation. We're going to break briefly, and when we return, we'll jump into the dailies. Do stay with us.
Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Looking for something away from the regular? Television shows that will keep you glued to your screen? Then High Impact TV is your best choice. We give you the best television shows, educative and entertaining programs. Keep a date with our breakfast show, tea or coffee. Weekdays 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Newspaper review. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Midday special. Weekdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We also keep you informed with news around the globe every day 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, we have exciting shows like Babbles, Fashionista, SLR, Vibes, Young Boss, and much more for everyone only on High Impact Television. Catch up with us on Star Times Channel 145, High Impact TV, securing the future.
Welcome back to the newspaper review on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. We're starting at 7:05 a.m. and we'll get right into the papers. What we do every day on the newspaper review, Monday to Friday, is to, review the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, and the Punch newspaper. And then we open the phone lines for you to let us know your top story. This morning we start with the Daily Trust newspaper, and we have subsidy removal. Artisans, business owners accuse NLC and TUC of selling out. The writer states CSOs knock unions want other Nigerians covered. The next writer says why we suspended strike. This is according to Labour, and you can get more details on the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's see what we have here. Fear of business loss looms. This is according to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and civil society leaders, activists to go ahead with mass protest. So there's something like this particular writer is saying that if NLC and TUC would not embark on an industrial action, civil society leaders and other activists to go ahead with mass protest. And this is on page 4 and 26 on the Daily Trust newspaper. You can do well to get more details there. We have drama as Nasarawa Assembly gets 2 speakers. Okay, 2 speakers. Let's continue. Food crisis looms. Farmers tell Tinubu, yes, this one is real. Is real indeed. UI professor shot dead in Ibadan. Another disturbing headline. I saw that and I'm wondering, what has the professor... Why... when we get into the papers proper, I'll probably look at that if we have the time for it. Above, beneath the nameplate, rather, we have Presidential Tribunal adjourns over INEC's failure to supply PDP materials. Reps declare Nigeria air lunch fraud, want officials involved prosecuted. And lastly, on the front page of... okay, this is the last we can take. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper.
Welcome back. The numbers to call is 0700 1021 1021, and that is 0700 1021 1021. You can send WhatsApp messages to our WhatsApp line on 0907 224 5018, 0907 224 5018. We're live on Twitter at HighImpact1021 FM. We're also live on YouTube at HighImpact102.1 FM. And now we move to stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper. The central caption has it that subsidy reps demand NNPCL audit over unaccounted 2 trillion naira assets. Subsidy reps demand NNPCL audit over unaccounted 2 trillion naira assets. Two writers to that story said some NNPCL subsidiaries bought crude oil without evidence of payment. That's coming from lawmakers. Some NNPCL subsidiaries bought crude oil without evidence of payment. The second writer said legislators, organized private sector, that is OPS, back refineries privatization. Uber, okay, I beg your pardon. Uber Bolt drivers begin nationwide strike.
I'm sorry, I could not help but laugh.
Uber, like the legislator. Okay. Legislators, OPS back refineries privatization. Uber, Bolt drivers begin nationwide strike. And now let's go to stories at the topmost section of the Punch newspaper. House alleges fraud, asks Tinubu to suspend Nigerian Air. And to the next, 51 jostle for Kogi, Bayelsa, Imo governorship seats. Finally, Senate throws out Buhari's controversial water bill. Now, remember that when that bill emerged in the public space, and the reason why okay, let's go into the story later. Finally, Senate throws out Buhari's controversial water bill. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, we can see the executive governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, when the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Lagos, Mudashiru Obasa, was being sworn in for the third time as the Speaker of the House of the Speaker of the House of Assembly in Lagos State. And we can see the rider beneath the captions there that says Obasa re-elected Speaker as Sanwo-Olu inaugurates Lagos Assembly. Obasa elected as Speaker as Sanwo-Olu inaugurates Lagos Assembly. Anti-inauguration law fined 20 million naira faces NBA probe. Anti-inauguration lawyer fined 20 million naira faces NBA probe. Police investigate assassination of UI professor. It's on page 4 of the Punch newspaper. Journalism icon, ex-Daily Times editor Enauro for UK burial today. That's on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Those are the stories making the rounds on front page of the Punch newspaper.
Zero 1021 What has the fuel subsidy, what has the transportation cost been for you since the removal of fuel subsidy. And I mean, the hailing cabs are going on strike today. So tell us, what's your opinion? What's your top story? Let us know your top story this morning. The number to call is 0700 1021 1021. The number to send us a message is 0907 224 5018. We're streaming live on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can send us a message in the comments and we'll pick it up from there. And we're streaming live on Twitter at High Impact 1021 FM. It's 7:20 a.m. and we still have the Vanguard newspaper and the Guardian newspaper to bring to you. I would pick up the Vanguard newspaper from here. The first story starts with NLC. They say why we suspended planned nationwide strike. This is according to the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and TUC. And you can get more details on the Vanguard newspaper.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. We can hear
Good
you.
morning.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Mr. Carlo calling from Ogun State.
Go ahead with your story, but
Hello?
the background we need you to turn off
down
your
radio.
radio.
Okay. I'll quickly do that. Okay, hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go
Hello?
ahead. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
loud and clear.
My intake is on the subsidy.
Okay.
You see, I don't see why in the whole countries of the world, this is the only country in the world that the leader doesn't know what they're doing. We are not saying that the removal of subsidy is not good, but it should be done when other alternatives have been put in place. At least there should be a constant electricity. The transportation system should be overhauled so that the commuter, the common people in this country will not be able to suffer much. You don't have to come in and just say immediately that you have removed subsidy without putting some things in place to cushion the effect. This is not done. This is not done. So I don't know where we are. I don't know who have caused us. I don't know who happen to be our problem in this country. Because I don't know. We don't do things as if we are all of us are animals.
No. You can't use that. Excuse me.
Those words. You have to be civil. You have to be You have to be civil.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
No, wait a minute. When you make this comment, of course we know tempers are flying, and if you want to make criticism and you want to express your anger over issues like this, you have to be civil with your words.
Please.
Saying we are animals is unacceptable. You cannot use that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can I continue on?
You have less than 1 minute. You have 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yes.
So let us do things as people that understand ourselves.
Okay.
There are too much suffering in the land.
All right.
There are too much suffering in the land. Please, this is where I'm heading to. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank you
thoughts.
for your thoughts. Krumale, first I want to start with, a statement he made, palliative, and he mentioned electricity. Do you consider constant power as a palliative?
Well, I think probably he was not referring to electricity as palliative.
Because he said palliatives, and then I heard electricity.
He was trying to say the government should make sure that at least electricity, the provision of electricity, the supply of electricity should have got to an appreciable level where we have industries running on a level of smoothness and without hindrance. And when he's talking about palliative, I just remember the $800 million that the government collected from the
World Bank.
It's not actually a grant, it's actually a loan.
Oh, I beg your Krumale, thank you.
From the World Bank.
We have to pay back somehow, anyways.
Yes, we will. So they were looking at that. And of course, whenever we talk about this subsidy issue, Nigerians will always and keep referring to the preparation that should have gone before removal. And it's even the people who are going through the hardship and the consequence of subsidy removal at the moment is telling you, yes, they support the removal of subsidy. However, the government was so unprepared, and labor itself was so unprepared. They didn't put the government on their toes that if you are going to take this out, in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
We will not accept except 1 or 2 of our refineries are working.
You know, the creativity, like we said earlier, when it has to deal with subsidy removal, just reminds me of what happens when you probably have to go through a procedure in the hospital. If it's something that has to do with maybe cutting your skin, you know, there are forms of, there are pain relievers, there are things to make sure that you're comfortable before that the doctor goes through that process. Maybe a surgery, you will not go through a surgery without, what's the word? It's anesthesia. I'm trying to get that word.
Okay.
Like, they make sure that they numb that part of your body.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't feel the pain, you know, and then they perform whatever operation they want to perform, and after that you know that you feel your healing, you know, the process is going on. But at that time, oh, Krumale, I really don't want to get into the details, but you see this hailing rides that are going on strike. Oh man, it's not even a pleasing one right now.
Okay.
But you can let us know your top story, 0700-1021-1021. Please keep it civil when you call and let us know what your headline is. You can send us a message on WhatsApp 0907-224-5018. You can leave a tweet at High Impact 1021 FM, or you can leave a comment on YouTube at High Impact 102.1 FM. I had just read the headline from the Vanguard newspaper, why we suspended planned nationwide strike, according to the NLC and TUC. Away from that, you know, Krumale just mentioned the World Bank loan, $800 million. And the World Bank is saying here that Nigeria's economic growth too slow to reduce poverty. I'm just thinking, if that growth is too slow to reduce poverty,
okay.
How soon can we pay off, you know, that chunk of
loan?
Let me move away from
that. The World Bank making that statement, they gave us that particular loan that probably at the tail end of the previous administration. And if they were going to be making such statement, of course they should. They have the right to their own opinion. And of course what they are saying is not far-fetched from what we currently see on ground. However, World Bank, you know, the previous administration has come to its tail end and it's leaving office. It's requested for a loan of $800 million and you gave it to them, to that administration. Why didn't you just wait? You knew elections were taking place, a new government was going to emerge, and when the new government emerged, everything, the box stops on the table of the new government. So probably they would have left the Tinubu administration to be the one, if there is going to be the need for that loan, to request for it.
If there is going to be need
for that loan,
to request for it,
not just giving it out in that way. Because if they are saying that this Nigerian economic growth is too slow, it's because they are concerned about the Nigerian economy, and their concern should of course reflect in some of the decisions and the way they grant loans to the Nigerian government. They should have allowed the Tinubu administration to handle that.
Well said.
And not the previous administration.
Well said, Krumale. The next one has to do with SDP's Adebayo tackling El-Rufai over alleged inflammatory comments. Now, this is a delicate conversation. A lot of reactions everywhere about this particular comment. And a lot of people are saying there was a video that went viral. And, you know, I've been trying to read the text because of the language in which the video was said, and you know, it's even something that we will still take out our time to preview. But just, you know, the former Social Democratic Party, SDP, I'm reading from the Vanguard newspaper now, the presidential candidate in the just concluded general election, that's Prince Adewale Adebayo, he condemned what he called divisive tendencies of the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, over his alleged statement that Islam will continue to dominate politics in Kaduna and Nigeria. Now, this one is still such that we are expecting, we are looking forward to what the security agencies will do concerning this, because even if it's an allegation, attention has been raised, and a lot of people are concerned.
There's a video on YouTube where he said that.
There's a video,
and
it's gone viral.
It has gone viral. So the statement when the interpretation of the video was being when the interpretation, the subtitles was put up, we saw statements like deceiving Christians or deceiving. Its speech was too inflammatory. I don't know what the DSS is waiting for. El Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, is fond of making such statements. And if the DSS does not invite, he's no longer a governor. He doesn't enjoy immunity at this moment. So why don't you invite him? What are they waiting for? Invite him. Because if you do not invite him over this statement, it will not be a deterrent. It will not serve as a deterrent to others who might have such tendencies. It's not. And if you look at Kaduna, when you're talking about insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria, you cannot remove Kaduna. You cannot isolate Kaduna or remove Kaduna from that equation. There's a lot of insecurity. Southern Kaduna has been boiling. People are dying there because of insecurity. And the thing that motivates this insecurity completely, well, it's just a rhetorical question. Can you rule some form of religious intonations out of it? He should not. He was a governor. In fact, if Kerry is not taken, he will be a minister in this particular government. He might be a minister in this particular government.
Isn't this some ploy to remain relevant?
Well, irrespective of the ploy, irrespective of the intention of the statement, whether he meant it as serious or unserious, they should talk to him. The DSS should invite him. And not only that, he has friends. He has friends who are in the political arena, who are Christians, who are non-Christians, who are Muslims, who are non-Muslims, who probably don't even worship God. But if their service and their leadership is to advance the development and of course unity of Nigeria, they should call him privately and talk to him. And I'm sure if they've been doing that, probably he would have restrained himself of making this kind of statements, because this is not the first time he's making statements that will be accredited to be extremism. They are not talking to him.
This is something
they need to talk to him. He's a good friend of Tunde Bakari. He should talk to him. Yes, he should.
This is a conversation
it's unacceptable. We
leave
leave that to the security agencies to handle. The eyes are on the DSS.
Yes, to know. We leave it to them to handle. I want to take the last headline, 7:32 a.m. Before we move into other parts of the newspaper review. It says alleged 6.9 billion fraud. Court grants Fayose permission to travel abroad for medicals. That's the last headline. Now, I just wanted to take it slow, okay? It's not me. It's on the Vanguard newspaper. Krumale, I see you laughing. I see you laughing, but that's what's on the paper.
I see him playing prominent role in this. I'm not saying he's going to be in the APC, but I see him playing prominent role either as an opposition voice or something else in this administration.
Opposition voices are mostly,
because he was a strong opposition in the Buhari's government, at least for the 2015 to 2019 session, before corruption allegations and brought him. Put in behind the EFCC, not just the courts, and he had to be attending courts regularly, and I think that actually drowned his voice from being heard. Oh, we have a call. Good morning. Welcome to the newspaper review. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
Good morning, my brother, and good morning, my sister.
Good morning.
This is Kenny from Ogijo.
Kenny from Ogudu, you're welcome.
Ogijo,
rather, you're welcome.
Ogijo.
Yes, you're welcome. Go on, please.
I want to react to the statement of El Rufai.
Okay.
No, that statement was discussed yesterday in one of our televisions.
Okay.
And you see, the politicians.
Can you
Are you
hear
there,
us?
Kemi? Oh, we lost you. Sorry. Please try to call back again.
Yes,
if you cannot get through, please send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018 0907 224 5018.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kemi.
You can keep your call coming in 0700-1021-1021. It's really hard to take a break at 7:34 a.m. right now, but if you want to leave a message, it's easy. Like Romale has said, our WhatsApp number is 0907-224-5018. We're ready for a break, or you want to take the Guardian newspaper?
I think we should call our guest because the time is fast spent. So
fast
whilst we're conversing with him, we'll quickly take that off the
right.
Guardian newspaper.
Okay.
Are you looking for an avenue to blast your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, 0902 745 3931, or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Let's discuss big stories from the dailies that caught your attention during the week on The Big Five. Every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. To share your views, call 0700-1021-1021 on WhatsApp 0907-224-5018. Let's hear your thoughts on The Big Five.
Join us Mondays to Fridays at 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the newspaper review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Are you looking for an avenue to blast your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, 0902 745 3931, or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Radio, as you know it, is taking a whole new turn. Are you ready for the region?
On your mark, ready, set, let's go with it. Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
Let's get jiggy with the rejig. High Impact citizens, we're switching everything up to take your radio experience higher. Start your day right with the Morning Impact Show from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Catch up with the traffic updates, weather reports, newspaper review, on record, fun games, great music, and conversations. We've got you.
Roll over as the Hey Day Show takes over at 12 p.m. with every fun segment hardwired to be a mood booster. The FFO Canteen, the Game Room, social media surfing, and hot topics.
And just before dark, you can rest in the assurance of more great vibes to come from 4 p.m.
At 6 p.m., we proceed to help drop down the day's stress and hustle fatigue with the right vibes on the drop down.
Your weekdays are covered, but so are your weekends. Coming your way on Saturdays, the Wavy Weekend, the Saturday OK Show, and the Rave.
Coming your way on Sundays, the Gospel Effect, Sunday Underway, and the Weekend Wind Down. You've got way too many reasons to get with the rejig.
With High Impact 102.1 FM, the possibilities are limitless.
Jiggy with it.
Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us on the program, and our guest will join us in the course of the program. Seem to be having some network challenge. Now, two stories making the rounds on front page of the Guardian newspaper. Unreliable grid, alternative energy spike borrowing costs by 50%. Unreliable grid, alternative energy spike borrowing costs by 50%. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Talking about energy there, rising energy costs, and of course the Guardian is known for putting out graphics and calculations, giving you details of that. You can see gas in 2021 was $7.32 and they're giving you for 2022, 2021 and 2023 the grid supply where it was in 2021, 2022 and 2023, and diesel as well within that period of the review. Now to other stories making the rounds on front page of the Guardian newspaper. CSOs knock NLC for suspending strike. E-hailing drivers down tools, shut down apps. CSOs knock NLC for suspending strike. E-hailing drivers down tools, shut down apps. It's on page 6. Okay, we have Chesan Okwade who joined us this morning via the phone call. Good morning, Chesan Okwade. You and welcome to the newspaper review.
Good morning, Kumale, and good morning, Sarah.
Esther, good morning, Chesan. Good morning,
Sarah. Good morning, Esther. Good morning to all our listeners.
You're welcome to the review. And
thank you.
Yes, let's just jump straight into the business of the day since we have a limited time. The Nigerian Labour Congress suspends strike, and on the front page of the Guardian newspaper it says CSOs knock NLC for suspending strike. E-hailing drivers down tools, shut down apps. Though the NLC came out to give reasons why they suspended the strike, but let's ask you what's your take on it.
Thank you very much, Priya. I think the decision on the part of NLC and CUC to play down the strike for now is what some of us feel is valuable. The new administration is just coming in less than a week, and they need to have a dialogue and understanding with them on some of the things they need to carry out. Don't forget that the issue of this subsidy, it's not something that is just starting now. I think the journey started right from the beginning of the year when the budget was approved, and we have just 6 months. I remember vividly around April, the old administration gave certain relief by adding to the salaries of the civil servants to cushion the effect, which is like preparing them for the days ahead. But like some of us, the analysts have actually argued that it's not about giving money all the time. It is about making provision of certain things that will ease the burden of an average citizen. And one of it is fixing the refinery in such a way that we can be at par with other OPEC nations that have crude oil and are able to refine it, so that when you have a supply that is surplus, we'll be able to have the economics parameter that says that when the supply outweighs the demand, you discover that the price of that particular commodity will definitely be cheaper. So I think that's the only missing gap. But we give kudos to NLC for having that understanding. We know that by June 19, they are going to reconvene back on some of the things they are both agreed to critically look into to ease the burden of the citizen. But I don't think going on strike will be the major thing. We have said NLC should not wait till the last minute. When you have promises given to the citizen or to the workers, they should follow it to letter. I expect NLC to have been asking questions from the last administration who promised to fix all the refinery, but we could not get one settled till they moved out of it. We feel that would be much more better than you waiting till the end of the show and you start pulling strings as if that will solve the problem. If you go on strike, we'll only be compounding the problem rather than solving any problem.
Okay.
You know, I want to connect it to something you said, that they should have, you know, asked the previous administration for, they should have made them more accountable instead of this. Don't you think that even now they can start making this administration, don't you think it's not too late to start making this administration accountable for the promises already, you know, that came with the manifesto, the APC, you know, manifesto? Don't you think it's not too early to start making them accountable?
Yeah, well, I would say it's a bit early. You don't get into the office, Esther, as the managing director of your company, and within 1 week you start making available results. I think they will watch. And if you want to go in line with what you said, I think one of the promises in the manifesto has actually been fulfilled, and that's why what he said while he was campaigning, and the other two main aspirants of the other parties, saying that subsidy will not be retained. And immediately he came in, one of the promises he gave to we Nigeria came out to us as a shocker. So we can start holding them accountable, but on the other deliverables, I think we should have a milestone, a timeline, maybe 100 days. At every 100 days, we are going to be asking questions on some of the things they have actually promised in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of workers' welfare, and some other things that will be, even the refinery. You can see some of the drastic action that is being taken by we read and we learned that the borders have actually been opened. The president has asked for the audit of the subsidy. They've asked that they need to know the state of the refinery and expect at least 2 to come on board for 6 months. These are things that the Labour, NLC and TUC should start monitoring. Don't wait till 6 months. I'm sure if they are giving that word now, in the next 2 months, come ask questions. Take a visit to some of the refineries.
Exactly.
Visit it. Then in the next 2 months, visit to see the progress made. That's what we do in the private sector. You know, monitor it. So you know whether they are starting something. If they are not starting anything in 2 months, you know within yourself that actualizing that thing in 6 months will not be visible. So you raise the alarm and let people know that no, this that you have promised is just thing of the mouth, and government will know that definitely people are watching and monitoring their activities. I need to bring them to accountable of their words.
But before we move away from this conversation, you know, the NLC is supposed to, you know, give us that sense of feeling where whatever sector you're working in. And the hailing cabs this morning they've gone on strike, you know, as we speak. They've gone on strike. And the past few days, I've had to use their services. I understand that they've been asking passengers to, you know, maybe triple the fare or double the fare, or, you know, just do something different that is on the app. One was telling me categorically that the app, you know, just increased the percentage by 40%. Meanwhile, the fuel increase is over 200%.
200%.
So now they are going on strike. Is the NLC also not going to? Are these ones not under? You know, are they not checking the welfare of these hailing cabs as well? Because it seems that some people are left out in the role that the NLC has to play to workers. They are also, you know, they should be part of, you know, the labor.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. But Esther, I have this to say that it's got across everyone. Sincerely speaking, if you have some business owners, people are adjusting what it is. If you have 200% increase in the price of the fuel, I'm able to tell you that not everyone is increasing in that proportion to what we have seen with the petrol. If you take other fares, the commercial buses out there, you discover that it is not as high as what we used to have. Maybe some of them are doing 100%, but not 200%, because you need to balance the art. If you increase your own part, it's not about individuals. You want an organization who gets commission from you and make those things available. They would have done their calculation before coming up to say, okay, we are giving a 40% increase. If there has not been increase at all, it should have been another story. I want to ask you this question. You and I are in it. Did they increase our salary? The highest so many organizations are doing is to now go hybrid, maybe work 2 days from home and 3 days from office. So for people like you, is this something that is achievable? You must be in office every day. The cost of operation on the part of the organization too is there. So there might not be possibility of them increasing salary as we speak. So if they go on strike, I feel that I will consider that they are a bit selfish on their part, not putting into consideration other people. It's cut across. You've seen certain people now resulting into a bicycle that they have at home, some resulting into trekking, because those things are really not, everybody is being affected. And if the organization you are working with decide that, okay, at least to start with, let's ask it, because if you increase it by 200%, what is going to happen? People will turn you down and you will not have patronage at all. I mean at all. People will resort to other alternatives, and that's where competition will start coming in.
Exactly why I'm thinking, why can't the NLC come and intervene even in matters like is there a limit to how much they can intervene when it has to do with dealing with matters like this? And when you said new competition will be coming, I heard adverts this morning of new hailing cabs, really. So I think the market is open, but there are people that are left out when it has to do with Nigeria Labour Congress, frankly speaking.
They are not left out, Esther. True, because they are not left out.
Okay, so how would they come in?
Trying to say to it's about an organization. This is between them and their employer, the owner of that app, who actually give them services. You know, something is quite interesting. When they were making that huge margin between you and I, that business is very valuable. That's why you see a lot of people, even that have their own work, they still go ahead and make use of do Uber and Bolt with their car, so that it won't just be for pleasure alone. When they were making those good margins, who do they knock at the door? We are all business owners. There are periods that you shift the ground. They are part of NLC, but this is not issue where NLC have to intervene. It's between them and their employer. If they go on strike, I can tell you that certain individuals will come up with those other activities. In fact, it's the company that will lose. People will come out and create other alternatives. You may not use app. You go back to the old school of doing things. Where are you going? And you throw down your hand. The only thing is that you may not be guaranteed the security, because that's what that organization provides. When you use the app, you'll be able to track, send to your loved ones how your movement is going. But if it is not every individual that just go on the road, the security may not be guaranteed. But I think it's something they should have understanding with their employer and the provision of that particular app to see how they can balance the app. But they should not feel that it's going to be that much. Every business is bleeding. Government agencies are bleeding.
Okay, Mr.
So we must
Sheson.
give ground for one another.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have very, very limited time to round it up. Let me not let you go until I ask this question. I hope you're aware, or you must have heard or seen this video that has gone viral, where the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, came out to make statements that is considered quite extremism and pitching religions against each other in the country. Have you seen that video, and have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yes, El-Rufai.
Watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's something that is condemnable from someone of that caliber. And that's why we keep saying that there should not be the extension between the highly placed people and every individual. If it is you and I that has made these utterances, by now we know where we will be. Even on air, your station would have paid a huge fine to serve as deterrent so that you know. I listened to you this morning when somebody was using a very foul language and you're able to checkmate the activity. But when you see certain people who we consider to be high above the law, these are part of the problem we have. We expect that it should have been invited, put more clarity to it, but it's part of the problem we are faced with. Individuals also do certain things.
I think it was quite direct about that statement. Putting clarity to it will be giving part opportunity to probably deny it. Mr. Sheson, whilst you are commenting, just a moment, please. When you consider this and you consider the level of insecurity in Kaduna State and most especially in southern Kaduna, this particular statement shouldn't just be taken with levity or swept under the carpet. Or what?
You are sincerely speaking. We know, I know, but we are not the law enforcement agency. The highest we can do is to raise the noise, is to talk, is to draw their attention to it. Acting is within their capacity and not with us. That is the challenge we are faced with, and we'll continue to see the best we can do by making sure that they do what is needful at every point in time.
All right. Thank you very much, Sheson Okwade, public affairs analyst and economics and financial expert. Thank you for your time with us this morning on the Newspaper Review.
Thank you very much for having me and wishing you the best of the day to all our listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wish you the same. Well, Lagos, this is where we draw the curtain.
Yes, indeed.
Esther?
I mean, I really wish we could talk about the Nigerian air.
Yes. Time would not
permit us. But
it's 7:56 already.
It should still be somewhere in the papers tomorrow. Something more.
Of course, it's
pressing.
not living. It's not living the headlines. The politics.
Even the water bill. You know, those are even the demand for NNPCL to audit over unaccounted 2 trillion naira assets. I mean, Krumale,
2 trillion.
I wish we had the time, but it's 7:56 a.m. Thank you so much for listening. For everyone that participated and those that probably tried reaching us and had issues with the service providers, you can just leave a message 0907-224-5018 or follow us across our social media platforms at High Impact 102.1 FM and News Around the Globe _ I am Esther Kalu. Till I see you next time, to stay safe.
I am Oyinpriye Krumale. Good morning. Many thanks for listening.
5 a.m. to 8 a.m. for freshly baked stories on the Newspaper Review at High Impact 102.1 FM. Follow us on social media at High Impact 102.1 FM or call 0700 1021 1021.